It is a platform on which you have a number of people from different states, different interests, sometimes different focuses, but all oriented around clean energy, able to come together on that platform and connect in a way that they wouldn't if it wasn't for CESA providing that platform.
I attended my first CESA meeting somewhere around 2008 or 2009, and it was just an amazing experience. I was able to talk with people who were also running programs and wrestling with the same questions that I was wrestling with. And it was amazing to get their advice and to get their input. And it was so great to know that I wasn't alone and to have that opportunity to learn.
It is really a convening of folks all fighting for the same thing, all working toward the same goals from different parts of the country that have the opportunity to benefit from each other. And I think the actual organization kind of convening and pulling that information together is what it feels to me like CESA's real goal is.
I'm Warren Leon, Executive Director of the Clean Energy States Alliance. CESA is a national bipartisan coalition of state energy agencies that work together to rapidly expand clean energy markets and bring the benefits of clean energy to everyone. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and we prepared this video to explain how CESA came to be and what its unique role is. You're going to hear CESA members and CESA staff discuss the organization, its activities, and the reasons to be part of it.
CESA was created in 2002 when a lot of activity began to happen at the state level around clean energy. The main thing is to remember is that in the 1990s, clean energy was largely a wasteland. And the major elements of change then were new clean energy funds at the state level, mandates to do clean energy like wind and solar, and then more customer choice. So that led to more and more states developing state clean energy funds. And that was essentially the reason why CESA was created, was to create this learning network among states as they began to develop new funds, learn from each other, and then develop a market.
CESA was founded on the principle that states shouldn't go at figuring out the clean energy revolution on their own. We realized at the beginning that this was a new venture for many states to start tackling the problem of how to create renewable energy markets. We also knew that everybody would be taking a slightly different approach based on how much money they had and what the political will was in their states. The initial meeting of the states that would go on to found the Clean Energy States Alliance happened in Massachusetts in 2002. We brought together states that had gone through restructuring to figure out, was there a role for a nonprofit to play that would act as a convener and an information sharing resource that would connect them all together as they embarked on this grand experiment of how to promote clean energy. Solar panels were few. Wind was just starting to take off. Wind turbines were popping up and people saw that. Nobody knew about energy storage. This was at the beginning of the clean energy transformation.
So it's important to realize that at the time, this is early 2000s, the states really weren't working together. There was not an opportunity or a structure for them to see what each other was doing, to get better, to get smarter, and then to build this market. States have been the central driver behind creating a clean energy economy. Without the states, there would be no clean energy economy. The reason this year's Inflation Reduction Act was able to be successful was because there was a market that they could build on.
The states have clearly been in the forefront of the clean energy transition, and CESA member organizations have been leaders among the states.
NYSERDA has been a member of CESA since its founding, and the value that CESA provides to the state of New York and NYSERDA has only continued to grow. Many of our policies are informed by the convening power of CESA, but also the forward-looking investments that we are contemplating even today. Some of the benefits of CESA membership that certainly have applied here in New York have first been our work in the offshore wind resource. We thought of no one better than CESA to help us in bringing together what is now the leading states in advancing offshore wind in the Northeast. A great example of the value that CESA brings is really not only convening states, but allowing us to learn from others who are ahead of us in the adoption of technologies like offshore wind. So in fact, CESA was critical in allowing us at NYSERDA to learn from countries like Denmark and others as to how they had implemented offshore wind policies.
I work on our offshore wind learning exchange, and that is an opportunity for us to bring together U.S. states to learn from each other about offshore wind, and also put them in contact with folks from Europe who are a little bit farther ahead in deploying offshore wind, and help the U.S. state governments learn from those who have already led the way in deploying offshore wind technology and building offshore wind supply chains, and interconnecting offshore wind with their energy grids.
Here's what I think that CESA does better than other organizations. I think because one of the biggest assets that we have is really that network, that connected network of state energy offices across the country. We're able to kind of propagate, to cross-pollinate those really good ideas across different states very quickly. And what we do in offshore wind on the Offshore Wind Accelerator project is we create a forum for the states to talk to one another and to learn from one another. But we also create a forum for hopefully community-based organizations to also have a voice in the process of how the industry gets developed. We are creating that space for the conversation to happen.
You'd have professional staff at CESA who are experts in their field who are able to provide you with expertise, whether it's gleaned from the states or best practices from elsewhere, that helps you take that back to your state when you step off that platform and do better work than you would otherwise be able to do.
I am Imre Juk, and I direct the energy storage program at the Office of Electricity in the Department of Energy. CESA has helped me find states and communities in the states who are interested in storage, and where I can further develop this technology, this community of energy storage, which then got transformed into a technology and eventually an industry. And nowadays, from having been a topic for dreamers and visionaries, it has become the hottest topic in the electricity business.
STEP stands for Energy Storage Technology Advancement Partnership. It's conducted under contract to Sandia National Laboratories and is funded by U.S. Department of Energy Office of Electricity. Our primary role in STEP is to help bring states to the table to collaborate with Sandia and with DOE and other partners like utilities to build energy storage demonstration projects. And we do this all over the country. It helps states to understand how storage works, because you don't really understand something until you build and run it and see it in action. We also work specifically with states that need hands-on support for policy and program development, and we're doing this in a number of states as well.
This topic of clean energy is going to move to the forefront of everybody's concern. And there are two parts to this. One part is looking towards the environment. We must have a decarbonized society, decarbonized technology. But the other part is the equity angle, because you can destroy society just as easily if you fail on the equity side.
What makes me really excited is that although people are trying to figure out how, the fact that the importance of equity has been prioritized in a lot of our movement moving forward on clean energy is very exciting to me. One of the priorities of our work in Michigan on environmental justice has been the development of an environmental justice screening tool. And one of the states with the best example, kind of the leader and the first to have that tool, is California. So we really were able to use their methodology, use their models to come up with a state-specific tool using Michigan data and California methodology. So it really is the best of, I think, what happens when states benefit from each other's work, because you can do it faster if somebody has already started that process.
I know for our state, Illinois, equity is probably the top focus in our most recent energy legislation. And I think being a part of CESA allows our states to learn from each other and adopt best practices.
I think that the future very clearly is in environmental justice, equity, resilience, using renewable energy in different ways to serve a wider variety of people and to do more, to make it work a little harder. I think the questions that are coming in the future are, who is able to get access to renewable energy? And the answer to that has to be everyone.
It's really critical for states to focus on solar for low-income communities for a number of reasons. We're not going to get to 100% renewables if we don't include all communities.
The reason I love working on the Solar Justice Project is because we have this incredible opportunity to bring in individuals from community-based organizations, individuals from environmental justice communities, and really highlight their expertise and their experiences. Our state energy agency members are really looking for the insight and perspectives of people from those communities. So getting a chance to broker those connections and highlight models of successful collaboration between community organizations and state agencies is just a great way to make sure that we're moving forward into the future, collaborating more effectively with marginalized communities.
Being able to find an intersection where people in communities can see benefit in things like community solar or owning their own energy generation or things that are going to help the way they have to pay their bills. We call it energy burden. They just call it paying their bills. And what is really important to me that we get to a common understanding of how we help people, how we move forward. Because at the end of the day, all that we're doing is about helping people and impact on people, right? It's not just energy for energy's sake. It is energy so people can survive.
Sometimes it seems like things are moving at an incredibly slow pace. You don't see the work happen in a snap. But over this course of decades, and you look back to see where we were and where we are now, the pace has actually been quite tremendous. To see solar panels on just about any neighborhood you walk through now, to hear folks talking about energy storage and how it can help the advancement of renewables by being able to store energy when there's a lot of clean energy and then release it onto the grid when it's needed or into households when they need it, has been tremendously satisfying to see happen over the course of the past few decades.
Now we see solar everywhere. We see wind farms in many, many places. And so I think that we have come a really long way in terms of where clean energy is compared to where it was 20 years ago. It's become much more normal.
I think in younger generations, climate change is accepted as a given. Clean energy is accepted as a given, as a solution. And so I think that we're not going to have to fight the same battles that we've had to.
So for me, the clean energy future is first and foremost a future in which 100% of our energy is generated from clean and renewable sources, and also one in which the energy system can work for the betterment of everybody by creating good paying jobs with adequate labor protections, and jobs that can help uplift communities that have traditionally been exploited by the energy system or left behind.
So if we look at the next 20 years, ideally what everyone wants to see is an energy mix that is clean, but also reflective of the opportunities it creates, the economic development that it creates that reflects our broader society. And CESA is well positioned to put states in that position by being able to learn from each other.
You have to connect with the states and communities. And CESA is a fantastic resource for doing that.
We're facing a lot of challenges, and none of us have all the answers, but together we have a lot more answers, and that is the huge value proposition that CESA brings, is putting all of these states together, sharing information, the webinars, the meetings, the reports, so that we don't have to invent the wheel every single time. We can learn from what other states are doing. And I think that is the huge value that CESA has brought all these years.
So I truly want to congratulate CESA on 20 years. NYSERDA is so proud to have been a member for that entire time, and we very much look forward to building on that relationship in the future.